Full metal jacket, a lead core inside a copper shell, open at the base. Lead is heavy, soft, and cheap, which is why cores are made of it. On its own, it smears down the barrel and deforms under pressure. The jacket fixes both. It also means the bullet arrives intact. It doesn't flatten, and it doesn't stop. A rifle round goes through a person, through a stud wall, through the wall behind that, and is still dangerous in the next room. Every army on Earth issues it, not because it works well, because of a treaty. Hollow point, the same bullet with a cavity punched into the nose. On impact, the cavity fills, and what's filling it has nowhere to go, so it forces the nose outward. The jacket is scored in advance, so it peels back into petals. A .45 caliber hollow point goes from half an inch across to nearly a full inch. Double the frontal area is double the drag, so the bullet slows violently and stops inside what it hit, instead of carrying its energy into whatever is standing behind it. The Hague Declaration banned expanding bullets in war in 1899. The British had been making them at an arsenal outside Calcutta called Dum Dum, and the name outlived the round, so armies are stuck with full metal jacket. Subsonic, loaded deliberately slow. Sound moves at 1,125 feet per second. A standard 9mm leaves the muzzle at 1,300, so it drags a shock cone behind it the whole way, and anyone near the flight path hears that cone as a sharp crack. A suppressor can't do anything about it. A suppressor is a stack of baffles that slows and cools the gas leaving the muzzle. It handles the noise at the gun. The crack is made by the bullet, 100 meters away, and arrives from a different direction. So subsonic ammunition uses less powder and a much heavier bullet, usually around 1,000 feet per second. 300 Blackout was designed around it, pushing a 220-grain bullet out of a short barrel. It drops like a stone past 150 meters. Tracer. A hole is drilled into the base of the bullet and packed with a pyrotechnic charge, usually a strontium salt with magnesium. The propellant lights it on the way out. It burns for 2 or 3 seconds, about 800 meters, and draws the flight path in the air. At that point, you stop using the sights. You watch where the line lands and walk it onto the target. Machine gun belts are loaded 4-ball, 1 tracer. Some magazines put tracer in the last 3 rounds, so the shooter knows he's about to run empty. 2 problems. The compound burns off as it flies, so a tracer never quite lands where a normal round would, and the line is visible from both ends. Incendiary. The nose is hollowed out and filled with a compound that ignites on impact instead of expanding. Most use white phosphorus or a magnesium alloy. Impact crushes the tip, pressure and friction light the filler, and it burns at a temperature nothing flammable survives. These were never really about people. They were built in the First World War to bring down hydrogen airships, which ordinary bullets went straight through without doing anything. Then for fuel tanks, where a plain round just leaves a hole. The incendiary lights what runs out of it, and the aircraft is gone. It's still an anti-material round. On a .50 caliber, the silver tip is the incendiary one. Birdshot. Here the projectile stops being one object. A shotgun shell is a plastic tube on a brass base. Inside is the primer, the powder, a plastic cup called a wad, and the pellets. The wad seals the gas behind the load, then peels open in the air and releases it. Birdshot pellets are tiny. Number 8 shot is 2 millimeters across, and an ounce of it is about 400 pellets. By 30 meters, they've spread into a cloud a meter wide. That's the entire point. You aren't trying to hit a bird. You're putting a screen in front of one. Each pellet carries almost no energy on its own and runs out inside 40 meters, which is why birdshot is a poor choice for anything that isn't a bird. Buckshot, the same shell with fewer, bigger pellets. Double-aught buck is 9 spheres, each 8.4 millimeters across, each weighing about the same as a .38 caliber bullet. One trigger pull sends 9 of them at around 1,200 feet per second. They spread far less than birdshot, roughly 2.5 centimeters for every meter traveled, so at 10 meters, the pattern still fits on a dinner plate. Past 40 meters, you can't count on all 9 arriving anywhere useful. The name is literal. It was the load for deer. Dragon's breath, a shotgun shell where the payload is magnesium shavings. The powder ignites them as they leave, and they come out as a jet of burning metal 6 meters long at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It lasts about a second and looks exactly like a flamethrower. It's close to useless. The shavings have no mass, no accuracy, and no range worth measuring, and burning magnesium tends to wreck the choke on the barrel it just left. It exists for signaling, for clearing brush, and mostly for the fact that people will buy it. Blank, primer and propellant, no bullet. The case is crimped shut at the neck or plugged with wax. It exists, so a gun cycles and makes the correct noise. Film, training, starting pistols, funerals. With no bullet to push against, the gas escapes freely, so semi-automatics need a restrictor at the muzzle to build enough back pressure to work the action. That gas is the danger. It exits at several thousand feet per second, carrying burning powder and fragments of the crimp with it. In 1984, an actor put a revolver loaded with blanks against his own temple between takes, and it killed him. There was no bullet in the gun. Underwater. Water is about 800 times denser than air. A bullet fired into it starts decelerating the instant it enters. Most stop inside a meter, and the fast ones do worse, because the water can't get out of the way and the bullet tears itself apart against it. The Soviets stopped trying to make a bullet work. The round for the APS rifle is a steel dart, 120 millimeters long and 5.5 wide, in an ordinary-looking case. Fired underwater, the flat tip shoves water outward faster than it can close back in, and the dart travels inside a bubble of vapor it generates in front of itself. It's barely touching anything. That buys it 30 meters. In air, it's hopeless. Nothing is holding it straight, so it tumbles almost immediately. 10 rounds.